Look closely, because most men will never notice this. A woman can say, "I'm fine," with her words, but her body is already giving you the truth. You see, there's one part of her body that the moment she allows you to touch it, she's already letting you in deeper than most men ever get. And I'm not talking about what most guys immediately think about. This is far more subtle, far more revealing, and it separates the men she trusts from the men she just tolerates. This isn't about manipulation or games. It's about instinct. Women have an internal radar that tells them who is safe, who is authentic, who can handle their vulnerability. Every gesture, every inch of proximity, every subtle touch is a language most men have forgotten how to read. But if you can recognize it, if you can respond correctly, it changes everything. Suddenly, the connection feels electric, like she's saying without words, "I trust you. I see you. You belong here." You might be thinking, which part? And that's exactly why most men fail. They get distracted by surface-level flirting, by words, by casual gestures. But there's one area, small, seemingly innocent, yet profoundly intimate, that tells you the truth of her feelings. When a woman allows you into this space, she's giving you permission to be close, permission to be part of her inner world. She's no longer holding walls up. She's leaning into you in a way that few men ever get to witness. Understand this. It's not about aggression or confidence. It's not about trying to force anything. It's about reading signals, responding with awareness, and honoring the trust she's giving you. Every man who misses this ends up confused, wondering why she suddenly pulls away, why she seems distant, why what felt so close feels like it vanished overnight. The men who understand, the men who can recognize the quiet, intentional gestures, they are the ones she thinks about when she's alone, the ones who linger in her mind long after a conversation ends. The truth is harsh. Most men will never notice. Most men are distracted by bravado, by physical attraction, by superficial confidence. But connection, real connection, is deeper, it's subtle, it's quiet, it's intimate, and it starts with awareness. By the time most men realize they've missed it, she's already moved on emotionally, her trust reserved for someone else who actually saw her. Pay attention, because missing this isn't just a lost opportunity. It's a signal that you've been blind to her true self. Women communicate far more through touch, proximity, and permission than through words. And once you understand this, the dynamics shift. You stop guessing what she wants. You stop trying to impress her with cliches. You start seeing her clearly. And that clarity, that awareness, is the edge that separates the men she'll let in from the men she'll merely tolerate. Now, let's dig deeper. That one part of her body isn't just a physical space. It's a doorway into her vulnerability, her comfort zone, her unspoken trust. When a woman allows you to touch it, she's testing something far more important than attraction. She's testing your emotional intelligence, your ability to respect her, and your capacity to respond without exploiting her trust. This is why so many men fail. They see the gesture, but they don't see the meaning behind it. Think about it. Women have spent years reading men's intentions. They know the difference between someone who wants fleeting pleasure and someone who could be a consistent, safe presence. This subtle permission is their way of saying without words, "I'm letting you in. But you have to show me you deserve it." And make no mistake, it's not about physicality. It's about control, safety, and emotional alignment. If you handle it clumsily, you break the unspoken contract. If you handle it wisely, you create a bond that grows stronger with every interaction. Here's the critical point. The moment you notice this, most men get excited, impulsive, or misinterpret it as entitlement. They think, "She let me touch this, so she's mine." Wrong. This is not a guarantee. It's an invitation to demonstrate respect, patience, and understanding. The men who succeed here are subtle, attentive, and self-aware. They mirror her comfort, match her energy, and amplify the trust instead of exploiting it. This is what makes them unforgettable in her mind. And there's a psychological twist most men never realize. Women don't give this kind of access lightly. It's tied to deep emotional circuits, trust, safety, and the sense of being valued for who she truly is. When she allows you in, it releases hormones that bond her to you in a way that is almost subconscious. She starts associating you not just with attraction, but with safety and emotional alignment. She begins to imagine what it would be like to let you into more of her world, her thoughts, her fears, her private moments. Most men misread her cues. They either overstep, turning a fragile trust into suspicion, or they ignore it, missing the opportunity entirely. The men who understand, however, know that this is a signal to slow down, to observe, to match her pace emotionally. They learn to communicate through subtle gestures, through attentiveness, through creating an environment where she feels increasingly secure. That's the key. You are no longer just another guy. Suddenly, you are the guy she considers safe enough to let in. Remember, this isn't about dominance, aggression, or being pushy. It's about presence, awareness, and emotional intelligence. A woman will test you, and this is one of the most revealing tests she'll ever administer. If you pass, her mind starts connecting to yours in ways she won't even articulate. If you fail, she retracts, often silently, leaving you wondering what went wrong. But once you recognize the subtle significance of this gesture, you gain a level of insight most men will never experience. A rare, almost invisible advantage in relationships that determines whether she'll think of you or forget you. Now comes the part most men never understand. Noticing is not enough. Recognizing that she's given you access to this intimate space is one thing, but responding correctly is everything. This is where men either secure her trust or destroy it. You see, she's not just handing over a gesture of comfort. She's handing you a responsibility, and how you handle it determines whether she sees you as safe, reliable, and desirable, or just another man who didn't notice the gravity of her trust. The first rule is patience. This isn't a race, and it's not about immediate gratification. Women are wired to detect urgency, pressure, or desperation, and any hint of those can flip a switch in her mind from comfort to caution. She is observing your every reaction, your tone, your touch, your energy, even your gaze. If you respond with calm confidence, she interprets it as alignment with her emotional state. If you overreact or misstep, she sees a lack of awareness, and suddenly the door closes before you even realized it was open. Next is respect. The part of her body she's allowing you to touch is a signal that she trusts you, not a signal of entitlement. Respect is about boundaries, knowing where she is comfortable, where she hesitates, and adjusting instantly. It's about giving her permission to withdraw or lean in without fear of judgment. And here's the subtle psychological truth. The men who master this create a bond stronger than mere attraction. She begins to see them not just as desirable, but as reliable, safe, and emotionally intelligent. That combination is rare, and rare always wins. Then there's awareness. Women send layered signals, touch, body orientation, micro expressions. They all communicate intent and comfort. A man who truly understands reads these signals without interrupting her flow, without trying to dominate the moment. He matches her energy, he mirrors her subtle cues, and he amplifies the trust she's already shown. This is not about strategy or manipulation. It's about aligning your presence with her emotional rhythm. She feels understood without a single word, and that is magnetic. Finally, there's timing. Emotional access must be treated delicately. React too quickly, and she feels rushed too slowly, and she wonders if you even noticed. The right response is both immediate and measured. Acknowledge the trust, reinforce safety, and signal that her comfort matters more than your ego or desires. In doing so, you trigger a cascade of psychological effects, increased bonding, heightened attraction, and a sense that she can finally relax and be herself around you. This is the invisible edge most men never see. They chase physicality, they misread flirtation, and they fail to appreciate the subtle gateway she's offered. The men who succeed recognize it, honor it, and deepen it with every interaction. Once you master this, you're no longer just another presence in her life. You're the man she remembers, the one she feels a unique connection to, the one who occupies a space in her mind and heart that others cannot reach. The first thing to realize is this creates a deep, almost subconscious bond. Her mind starts associating you with safety, with trust, with emotional attunement. She's already opening doors to her thoughts, her fears, her moments of vulnerability. Most men would see this as a signal to escalate, to push for more. But the men who succeed here know it's not about